the beauty of making your own barbecue sauces is you are in control. You are in control of all of your ingredients, and most of all, you're in control of your flavors. Classic Texas tomato style, Alabama white, and Carolina gold. 3 classic barbecue sauces that you need and you'll use all summer long. I gotta say, with chicken, I think that one's my favorite. I've been wanting to do this video for a while because I have 3 classic barbecue sauces that are gonna knock your socks off. We're gonna start out with the ketchup-based sauce because that has to go on the heat and simmer to melt all those sugars and spices and get all those flavors to meld together. We're gonna start with our base of ketchup, brown sugar, red wine vinegar, chicken or beef stock. As I mentioned, this sauce will go with any protein, so feel free to use either one. Worcestershire sauce, ground mustard, paprika, smoked or sweet, granulated garlic, granulated onion, ground black pepper, kosher salt, and my 2 secret ingredients, a little dash of fish sauce and a little dash of Cholula hot sauce. Now on the hot sauce, don't be afraid to use your own hot sauce, especially if you like it really, really spicy, and don't be afraid to change up your levels. If you want it spicy, use more. If you want it less spicy, use less. But hot sauce really adds a great depth of flavor to this sauce. Whisk all the ingredients together. All right, once all your ingredients are whisked, we want to get this on the heat and we want to low simmer until all the ingredients are blended together and that brown sugar is nice and melted. Anywhere between 10 and 15 minutes on a low simmer, and keep stirring it every once in a while because it will kind of start to caramelize on the side of your pan and you don't want that. Next up, Alabama white sauce. This one's a little bit out of the box, but you're gonna love it. And it will go great on any protein, but it really, really goes well with smoked and grilled chicken. And that's what we're gonna try it on later, is we're gonna try it on some smoked chicken wings. Okay, we're gonna start with a base of mayonnaise. Yes, mayonnaise. We're gonna do both apple cider vinegar and white wine vinegar. Next up is mustard. You can use Dijon, or what I like to use for a little better texture and flavor is a whole grainy mustard. We've got both white pepper and black pepper, granulated garlic, granulated onion, lemon juice, paprika, kosher salt, Worcestershire sauce, and my secret ingredient on this one is fresh horseradish. Now you could leave this out if you wanted to, but you'd really be doing your Alabama white sauce a disservice. This brings a nice zip and spiciness to your white sauce. And the great thing about horseradish is the heat's right on the front and then it goes right away, so it adds great flavor. And finally, in all of our sauces, to add a little bit of umami and depth of flavor, a couple drops of fish sauce. Next, we're gonna whisk this all together. All right, once you whisk this up, this sauce may seem a little bit thin. Now, this one doesn't get the heat. This one goes in the refrigerator to let all these flavors meld together. Now, after about an hour or so in the refrigerator, what you'll wanna do is give it a taste and see if it needs anything. See if it needs more pepper, see if it needs more horseradish, or perhaps a little bit more mustard. But most of all, it may need a little more mayonnaise. It typically should thicken up in the refrigerator. If it doesn't, just add a little bit of mayonnaise, tablespoon at a time, until it thickens up just to a nice consistency. This is actually not bad, and I'm pretty confident that after an hour in the refrigerator, this is gonna thicken up into a perfect sauce consistency. Before we get into our Carolina Gold mustard sauce, I've pulled off our classic barbecue sauce off of the heat and got it into this bowl to start it cooling. Now, the beauty of making your own barbecue sauces is you are in control. You are in control of all of your ingredients, and most of all, you're in control of your flavors. So before we package this up and start to cool it down, you want to give it a taste. And what's interesting is the sauce comes out a little bit different each and every time you make it. Now, this batch is a little vinegar forward, and Victoria and I are okay with that. We like that kind of that acidic bite. So I think this is perfect. But before you package this up, you want it sweeter? Add some more brown sugar to it, get it back on the heat. You want more tomato? Get some more ketchup in there. You want more pepper? You want it more spicy? You design your flavors the way you want it. Once you make your own sauces, you'll never go back to the jarred stuff. If pulled pork is your favorite barbecue, then this Carolina Gold barbecue sauce is for you. And it starts with a base of yellow mustard. Now, much like the classic sauce, we are going to get this one on the heat because we also want the sugar and the honey and everything to melt and kind of all melt together. Next up, honey. Quite a bit of honey, actually, so this one's going to be nice and sweet. And you also need the sweetness to cut down that strong acidity in the mustard. Brown sugar. Apple cider vinegar is going to thin it out a little bit. Horseradish, and lots of it. Now, typically when we end up tasting this sauce, I typically end up adding more than the 2 tablespoons of horseradish that the recipe initially calls for. Worcestershire. And just like all the sauces, kosher salt, granulated garlic, granulated onion, black pepper, some ground white pepper, paprika, and then some tomato paste for this one. And just like all the others, we want to whisk to combine everything. And you can see the beautiful gold color, which is where it gets its name, Carolina Gold sauce. Now, before we get this one on the heat to let it simmer, I'm actually going to taste it before we put it on the heat, just because there's a lot of flavors in here. And I want to make sure it's balanced and it tastes good. Now, I will tell you right now, with the mustard and then the additional vinegar in there to thin it out, it is very acidic right now. And combining up and by heating it up and getting all these flavors to meld together, that should tame down. If it doesn't, sugar is your best friend here. So we'll see what happens. We'll taste it again after it comes off the heat. All right, well, there you have it. 3 barbecue sauces: classic Texas tomato style, Alabama white, and Carolina Gold. And my first smoke on the new smoker was some chicken wings. That was my initial smoke. Why? Because chicken wings are kind of hard to screw up. They have a nice fat content, so they don't dry out really easily. And I gotta say, this thing is a beast. It worked amazing. So when it comes to chicken wings, I wanna know, are you a drummy person or are you a flat person? Leave a message down in the comments. I wanna know, drummy or flat, which one are you? Me, I'm typically a flat guy because I just feel that there's more meat on the flat than there is on the drummy. Prove me wrong, but I think there's more meat on the flats. But to dip in my dipping sauces here, I'm going to use the drummy. And I'm going in right now right with the traditional classic barbecue sauce. As I mentioned earlier, this batch came out with a little more kind of vinegar forward, which I totally love. It goes great with the light smoke on the chicken wings. Great classic sauce. As I mentioned before, goes great on any protein. Next, I think I'm going to go in with the Alabama white sauce. Now, I might want to mention too, when this did come out of the refrigerator, I did end up adding a little more mayonnaise to it. It was a little thin, and it did take a little bit more mayo just to thicken it up a little bit. You can see how well it sticks to the chicken wing there. Okay, I gotta say, I think the Alabama white sauce is my absolute favorite, especially since we're eating it with chicken. But the creaminess of the mayo, the tartness of the vinegar, and the horseradish just gives it that tart bite. The 2 peppers combined, it's just the best sauce for chicken. Now finally, the Carolina Gold. Mentioned before that one goes really, really well with pork. It kind of is the sauce for pulled pork, especially if you're gonna put it on a sandwich. But let's see how this one goes with the chicken wings. I gotta say, that would be really awesome on a smoked or grilled chicken thigh too. Okay, well, there you have it. With chicken wings, I'm going with the Alabama white sauce each and every time. Clear winner with poultry. But I've got a bonus fourth sauce for you. That's right, a fourth sauce. And it's really pretty interesting. We kind of ran into it totally by accident, but it is amazing on both beef and pork. And all you have to do is take 2 parts of your classic barbecue sauce and take 1 part of your Carolina Gold sauce, which in this case would just be 2 spoonfuls here. Give that a little mix, and then roll in and give this a try. The tomato sauce, the mustard, the horseradish, they work well together for one flavorful sauce, and it goes really amazing on the chicken. Well, there you have it. 3 classic barbecue sauces that you need and you'll use all summer long, regardless of what protein you're using. If you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? You can be notified when we do recipes just like this, and I've got a ton of smoker recipes that I want to do, and you'll for sure want to be notified when we do those. Give us a like, it helps us out tremendously. All 3 recipes will be in the description down below and available on our website, gfexplorers.com. And from beautiful Milford, Michigan, right outside of my hometown of Detroit, Michigan, happy eating.